today's video, we'll be looking at creepy and scary TikTok videos that you should not watch before bed.
This comment is in reference to this book that I was just reading, Playground. For those not in the know, the movie is basically about these kids that are all experimenting on this playground, but the playground is designed to unalive them. In like Saw trap fashion, unalive them.
No.
I can't speak for everyone, but I've been reading and watching horror ever since I was a very young kid. Like my first horror film ever, I was 3 years old, and I started reading adult horror novels as early as the 4th grade. And most of the horror that I consumed book-wise was from a child's perspective. Lots of Stephen King books are written this way, actually, because to me that felt more real. It felt way more relatable than horrors that was with adults. And even now, as an adult, you sympathize with children so much more in horror novels because everybody knows what it's like to be a kid. Everybody remembers what it was like to be that innocent and to have so much ahead of you. So I think the reason why a lot of horror is centered around kids like this is because it's real. It has a lot of heart.
The weirdest thing,
You know, they make a lot of horror stuff nowadays. A lot of kids games or horror games. Probably your kid's most like YouTuber does horror games. I'm just saying. So I don't know what it is right now. You know, they even got a game, Garden of Ben Ben. It's about a kindergarten or some stuff like that, which is crazy with evil monsters. And you might have your 3-year-old running around talking about some crazy stuff.
Things ever sold on the internet, part 1. Firstly, Scarlett Johansson made an appearance on The Tonight Show in 2008 where she blew her nose into a tissue. She then put this used tissue in a bag, signed it, and then listed it on eBay. The auction went viral and the tissue sold for a whopping $5,300. In 2008, two sisters from Virginia, Melissa and Emily, discovered a cornflake that was shaped exactly like the state of Illinois. They put the cornflake up on eBay and after an intense bidding process, Monty Kerr, the owner of TriviaMania.com, purchased the cornflake for $1,350. And in 2006, a man from Australia listed the entire country of New Zealand for sale on eBay. The listing started at 1 cent, but after 6,000 views and 22 bids, the price rose to $3,000. However, before the sale went through, eBay intervened and took down the auction.
Have you ever heard of the Japanese urban legend of the Kitsune? Kitsune is a legendary creature in Japanese folklore. They are known for their shape-shifting abilities, intelligence, and magical powers. They are often depicted as foxes with multiple tails, with the number of tails representing their age and power. In Japanese folklore, Kitsune are believed to possess great wisdom and supernatural abilities. They are associated with the element of fire and are considered messengers and servants of the Shinto deity Ingri, who is often depicted with foxes. Kitsune are seen as the guardians of Inari shrines and are believed to bring good fortune, fertility, and protection to those who honor and respect them. One of the most well-known aspects of Kitsune is their ability to shapeshift. They can transform into various forms, most commonly into beautiful women, but they can also take the appearance of other animals or objects. Kitsune use their transformative powers for a variety of purposes, such as playing tricks on humans, testing their character, or seducing them. Kitsune are known for their mischievous nature and intelligence. They are skilled tricksters and illusionists, capable of creating powerful illusions to deceive and confuse their targets. They are often portrayed as cunning, sly, and clever creatures. There are different types of Kitsune in Japanese folklore, each associated with different characteristics or powers. For example, the Zenko are benevolent fox spirits associated with Ingri and bring good fortune, while the Yako are mischievous and sometimes malevolent spirits that enjoy playing pranks on humans. Overall, Kitsune are fascinating creatures deeply rooted in Japanese folklore, representing a blend of supernatural abilities, wisdom, and mischief. Their enduring popularity is a testament to their rich mythology and their ability to captivate.
Shiloh Dynasty is one of the most impactful artists of our generation, but she has completely vanished from the face of the earth. So Shiloh Dynasty is known for creating some of the most impactful music of our generation. So let me just play you a couple of songs. This song is Shiloh Dynasty. I love this song. Also this song.
Y'all ever knew who Shiloh Dynasty was? I never knew. I just, I know the extensions. Is it extension or extentation? I don't know. But yes, I mess with extensions or extentations music. So I knew what the songs were, but I never knew who Shiloh Dynasty was. And there's some crazy music playing in the background of some of these TikToks, so that's just because of certain copyright issues. So bear with me.
And stabbed her 19 times in an attempt to appease the Slenderman. The girls took off, traveling 5 miles on foot, and when the police eventually found them, they were both calm and collected. They explained that Slenderman made them do it. They said that they were told by the Slenderman that they had to kill someone in order to be worthy of living alongside him, and if they failed, their entire family would be killed. Thankfully, Peyton actually survived the attack after crawling to an open patch of grass and being spotted by a bicyclist. The kitchen knife used to stab her only missed her heart by a millimeter, so the doctor said she was a millimeter away from death. Wisconsin law states that an individual over the age of 10 can be tried as an adult in attempted murder cases. Both girls initially pled not guilty due to mental illness and took a plea deal to avoid prison. Morgan, who was the one that did the stabbing, received 40 years in a mental institution and was diagnosed with schizophrenia. She is currently on her second conditional release request, with her next hearing being August 28th of this year, when the judge will decide if she's ready to be released. Anissa, who planned the attempted murder, received 25 years in a mental institution but walked free in September of 2021.
What? Yo, check it out. She walked free. She probably out here doing other things for Slenderman now. Like, man, it's just crazy how, certain people can get away with certain things. But back to what I was saying earlier about the horror stuff with our children, right? My children knew who Slenderman was before I even knew who Slenderman was, off of a children's video game. So, I don't know, man. Y'all got to be careful out here.
City, in any country in the world, go to any mental institution or hospital and tell the attendant that you wish to see the holder of the anvil. A moment, an hour, an eon will pass as you see the world's every failure reflected in his eyes. You will see the ending of things. Daughters tearing strips of flesh from their mothers with hooks of steel and bone. Fathers feasting on the eyes of their sons, and you will know that you have given them their torment. Their anguish will be your own, and the only way to escape is to let your cry join theirs. But give no sign that you know this, or the attendant will turn away, and all hope with him. An eon, an hour, a moment will pass, and the attendant will drop his eyes in defeat, turn, and open the door behind him. Follow him with care. He is treacherous, and will leave you in dark places where your screams will never be heard, your bones never found. At the end of this path, when the skulls of infants crunch beneath your feet, you will find a young man chained to a ragged iron slab. Your guide will turn and offer you a hammer in one hand, a blade in the other. If you take the blade, you will abandon your search, and you should beg for a quick end. It will not be given. You should take the hammer, and when you do, drive it into the young man's head with all the strength you have and more. Although he is innocent, allow no mercy, for mercy has abandoned you. Cover the skulls at your feet in the gore and the blood. When their debt has been paid, you will be delivered back to your world outside of the asylum. The hammer will still be in your hand. The blood will never wash off. Its thirst has been satisfied for now. That hammer is object 53 of 538. It will only be used once more, to split the world and find the secret heart that beats within. Pray that yours will not be the hand.
A woman on TikTok.
That's some creepy stuff. Like, what's he telling us to do? I'm not going to a mental asylum, and I'm not saying I want to speak to anybody there. So, I don't know. Y'all can do that if y'all want. If y'all want to have Thor's hammer, y'all go ahead and y'all can have that blood on your hands, but not me.
Oddsu had relationships with inmates. This is Tina Gonzalez. She was a prison guard at the Fresno County Jail in California, but in 2021, she was arrested. It turned out she'd been having relations with many prisoners in the jail. She would sneak in contraband for many of her lovers, and became rather famous in prison for doing what she did. Tina would also warn her lovers of upcoming searches of their cells. Tina was sentenced to 210 days behind behind bars, and 2 years of probation. This is Vicky White, a prison guard from Alabama. While at work, she fell in love with a murderer and inmate named Casey White. One day, she helped Casey escape. They used a police car to get away, resulting in a massive police chase. Eventually, they crashed their car. Casey White was taken back to prison, but Vicky sadly passed away. This is Nancy Gonzalez. She was a guard at a New York prison. That's where she met Ronell Wilson. Ronell Wilson was behind bars for ending the lives of 2 undercover cops. Eventually, Nancy became pregnant with Ronell's child. Nancy was arrested and sentenced to 1 year behind bars, but she went on to give birth.
The Divine Order of the Royal Arms of the Great 11, or the Blackburn Cult, May Otis Blackburn, declared herself the High Priestess. May described the key elements of the new religion to her followers. She believed the 4th dimension was regulated by the Tree of Life, and this tree would allow everyone to achieve eternal life. But this tree was damaged by Adam and Eve when they took the forbidden fruit, so the cycle of eternity was broken, and she was the only one who could fix it. Once the tree healed, then a divine royal order would form, and this would be the Royal Arms of the Great 11, which would be 11 women, including May, and all of them would become the superhuman rulers of the universe. After the apocalypse, they would all perish, but the Tree of Life would resurrect them from the dead. Then they would be granted huge marble palaces in Hollywood, where they would live, and each of the 11 women would also have 11 husbands each. Wow, it's just shocking to think people could fall for this.
Right? No one's gonna die, the end of the world's coming, but everyone's getting 11 husbands too.
Yeah, in a mansion in Hollywood.
Yeah, right.
Because after the apocalypse, Hollywood will still be there.
My Haunted Hotel is a 400-year-old haunted attraction which earned the title of the UK's most haunted hotel. The building was constructed in 1622 and now opens its doors to guests who are brave enough to spend the night. 16 cameras are scattered throughout the building, and just recently, they managed to catch something chilling.
Let me know if y'all see anything. That was outside, right?
A ghostly apparition quickly darted past the window. This entity appeared to be glowing as it moved from right to left. It's also worth noting that this is a second-story window, so it's not possible for anyone to simply walk by. The owners of the hotel are stumped and can't explain what was caught, leading them to believe that this is proof of the many spirits that...
The Mars rover Opportunity had the saddest last words I have ever heard. She was supposed to survive for just 90 days on the Red Planet, but using her solar panels, she traveled 28 miles across the Martian surface over 14 years. Then one fateful day, as a Martian storm descended on the rover and the skies were choked of all sunlight, the solar-powered Opportunity messaged home, saying, "My battery is low and it's getting dark."
That's Wally.
A woman named Jen purchased an old farm property and soon found out that it was extremely haunted. Her new home became a hotspot for paranormal activity, and a dark being began to appear around the property.
Oh, snap.
Oh my God, what the
You seen that? Something up there.
In the upstairs window, a shadow figure quickly walked by. This dark, ominous figure filled Jen with fear, leaving her frozen in place. Until this day, she has no idea who or what this was.
Would y'all go in that house after seeing that?
On a TikTok account that no longer exists, a video was posted of what appears to be a haunted doll. One day, while a young girl was recording herself playing with her favorite doll, nothing seemed out of the ordinary, until suddenly the young girl hears something that caught her attention. Then this happened.
So, Kiliana, what?
Oh, snap. Them dolls is something else.
As soon as the young girl looked to her left, the doll can be seen turning its head to look at her. The girl immediately noticed this and quickly ran to tell her mom. This slight movement is chilling, as there's no denying that something caused this doll's head to move. Well, after this discovery, they might as well toss that thing in a blender.
Straight up, don't put no dolls in my house because it be spirits in them.
The military is indeed aware of UFOs. On August 15, 1950, Nick Mariana, the general manager of the minor league baseball team Rest Falls Electric, and his secretary Virginia Ronig were conducting a stadium inspection before a game. During their observation, Mariana noticed a bright flash and suddenly witnessed two bright silvery rotating objects flying by. Reacting quickly, Mariana grabbed his 16mm movie camera from his car and captured 16 seconds of footage of the UFOs. This film was publicly shown and received significant acclaim as the first ever recorded footage of UFOs. However, when the military became aware of the film, Mariana was convinced to hand it over for examination. Unfortunately, upon its return, the military dismissed the footage as reflections of a fighter jet, and 35 frames that clearly depicted rotating disc-shaped UFOs were missing. The absence of this crucial footage was corroborated by individuals from the public who had viewed the original film, leading to widespread speculation about potential hidden motives or information being withheld by the military. This incident has raised questions and fueled curiosity about what the military may be concealing regarding UFOs.
There's a theory that in Spider-Man No Way Home, Andrew Garfield's character, he stopped a canon event from happening. Remember when Tom Holland and Zendaya were on the Eiffel Tower? Not the Eiffel Tower, sorry.
Yo, I never really thought about this, man. Look, I don't know if you guys have seen Spider-Man Across the Universe, but that's probably my favorite movie of this year. Probably my favorite animated movie of all time, not gonna lie. But they were talking about these canon events. Now it makes sense. Y'all just gotta watch it.
The Statue of Liberty? Zendaya fell from the Statue of Liberty, ready to die, just like all the other canon events of each Spider-Man when Gwen Stacy falls and dies, right? Just like that's what happened in Into the Spider-Verse 2, where they can't stop a canon event from happening or else it will fuck the whole timeline and deadass just destroy the universe. Andrew Garfield, not being from Tom Holland's universe, saved Zendaya stopping the canon event, and he probably fucked up the timeline. It makes sense now because Into the Spider-Verse 2 came out. They talk about canon events.
So if that never happened, there would probably not even be another movie type shit.
Or like something crazy is gonna happen now. Something crazy is gonna happen now.
Yeah, I can't wait for the next movie to come out.
Have you ever heard of the Filipino urban legend of the Dancing Ballerina? The legend of the Dancing Ballerina is a popular urban legend in the Philippines. According to the story, there is a haunted ballerina figurine that is believed to have a mysterious and supernatural ability to move and dance on its own. The ballerina figurine is exquisitely crafted, with delicate features and a captivating presence. It is said to possess an enchantment or curse that allows it to come to life and perform graceful ballet moves when no one is watching. The legend typically revolves around an old antique shop or a collector's home where the ballerina figurine is displayed. Witnesses claim to have seen the ballerina moving or twirling by itself, sometimes accompanied by haunting music or the sound of ballet slippers on a wooden floor. Some believe that the figurine is inhabited by the spirit of a deceased dancer who yearns to continue her passion for dance even in the afterlife. Others suggest that the figurine is cursed or possessed by a malevolent force. The legend of the dancing ballerina serves as a cautionary tale, warning people about the dangers of acquiring cursed or haunted objects. It taps into the fear of the unknown and the supernatural, as well as our fascination with the world of ballet and the beauty of dance.
Man, that sounds like some Toy Story, Little Soldiers paper.
So a spooky small business reached out to me the other day and asked if they could send me a few things. Of course, I said yes, so let's do a little unboxing for you guys today. The company's called For the Recently Deceased. I'm going to tag them below. The paper, the packaging, very cute. I feel guilty tearing this little ghost off, but look at all the little stickers. I love cows. Oh my goodness, this note, this is very cute. Thank you. We got some cute stickers, a business card, and let's get into the stuff. We have these Chucky knife earrings. These are really cool. We've got Billy the Puppet saw blades. These might be my favorites so far, the little ghost-faced calmies. These little hearts. I can definitely tell that they watch my videos, because most of the earrings they sent me are slasher related, and slashers are my favorite. Last but not least, we have some Pennywise balloons. I gotta say, my favorites are still definitely the Jigsaws and the Ghostface. But once again, thank you so much. I'm going to tag them below. You guys should definitely go check them out.
There was also a theory that in the Guardians of the Galaxy poster, they would expose who dies. Oh, in that shit. Thing. Do they actually? Yeah, so search up Guardians of the Galaxy 1. Look at the color of the words.
It's yellow.
People are saying it's kind of represents like wood and stuff.
Let me see.
Who dies in the first one?
Groot.
Yeah, so look up number 2. Number 2 is blue. Who dies in Guardians of the Galaxy 2?
Yondu.
Yes.
Oh, shit. And it's red.
Yeah, no, it's blue and red.
And a bit of yellow. Yo, because Yondu's eyes, right?
So now but it kind of got disproved, but Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Yeah, it's white. It's just white.
There was another one I was looking at. It represented Rocket because it had red and it had like the raccoon whiskers. Yeah, but he kind of did die because remember he got like...
He did die low-key.
Yeah, he did die low-key. So.
Spoiler.
So, oh, fuck.
Ah, shit. Spoiler.
Spoiler.
Spoiler. That's a fuck spoiler. I'm not gonna lie.
I swear. Just spoiled the whole movie for me. I was about to watch that this weekend.
We found this abandoned mansion that was last owned by a drug dealer. In 2018, police were called over a domestic dispute. The man then barricaded himself inside, and there was a standoff for over 7 hours. He finally surrendered after police threw smoke bombs inside. He was then charged with aggravated assault, and the home was seized. What we found inside will shock you.
So they just left it in shambles all this time?
This man has been locked in this machine for 70 years. Paul Alexander has spent his entire life locked inside this metal canister, and if he ever leaves, he will die. When Paul was a kid, he was diagnosed with a disease called polio, causing him to be totally paralyzed. And this machine allows him to breathe, so if he left it for 1 second, he would pass away. Amazingly, he still lives life as best as he can, and he has friends who visit him regularly.
Man, that's unfortunate to be an iron lung. No,
Have you ever heard of the Vietnamese urban legend of the ghostly wedding? The legend of the ghostly wedding is a haunting Vietnamese tale that revolves around the wedding ceremony that takes place in the spirit realm. It is a story that combines elements of love, tragedy, and the supernatural. According to the legend, the ghostly wedding is said to occur in the realm of spirits or ghosts. It involves ghostly brides and grooms who are unable to find peace and move on due to unresolved love or unfinished business in their lives. These spirits come together to partake in a wedding ceremony, seeking closure and a chance to be united in eternal matrimony. The ghostly wedding is said to be a sorrowful and ethereal event. The ceremony takes place in a mythical setting, often described as a moonlit grove or an otherworldly landscape. Ghostly music, ethereal decorations, and shimmering lights set the stage for the solemn union. During the wedding, the ghostly brides and grooms exchange vows and profess their eternal love. It is said that their love is so strong that it transcends the boundaries between life and death. The ceremony is both a celebration of their love and a plea for redemption or release from their earthly attachments. Witnessing a ghostly wedding is believed to be a rare occurrence. Those who happen upon the event may experience a mixture of emotions, including awe, sadness, and a sense of ephemeral nature of existence. Some versions of the legend suggest that those who witness the ghostly wedding may be granted a glimpse into the realm of spirits and gain a deeper understanding of love, loss, and the mysteries of the afterlife. The legend of the ghostly wedding serves as a poignant reminder of the power of love and the longing for resolution in the realm of the supernatural. It reflects the belief that the bonds of love can transcend death and that some spirits remain tethered to the earthly realm until they find closure or fulfillment.
What y'all think about a ghostly wedding?
Guess what, voodoo dolls? We're doing Homie the Clown today. Don't forget to join the line. We got free candy.
Behind me is an x-ray of 34 nails inside of Mr. Chen Liu's skull. He was killed with a nail gun, he was shot in the head and the neck. And as you can see, this x-ray is gruesome. Mr. Liu's body was found severely decomposed by 2 children in 2008. His body was found in Sydney, Australia. Police and medical examiners said that Chen was probably dead for about 12 days before he was found. The unit investigating the murder said they've never seen anything so gruesome with a nail gun before. In fact, many working on this case claim that they've never even seen anyone murdered by a nail gun before. The victim was alone in Australia for 8 years. He had no family. The crazy part of this is no arrests have been made since 2008. All they have is the model of a car, which was a blue Range Rover Sport. That is all the information they have. That was the car that dumped Mr. Liu's body into the river. The victim was only 27 or 28 years old. I've looked for updated articles on anything I could find on this. Most of them I found are from 2009. so his murderers still walk free today. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below.
This woman killed her husband and made him into stew. But that's not even the most shocking part of this case. Catherine Knight was an Australian abattoir worker. Her early years were horrific, as her dad was an aggressive alcoholic. Her dad abused her mother, and Catherine was also SA'd by multiple family members. She would go on to meet David Kellett, who had a similar personality to her dad. He also had alcohol problems and was violent. However, he had very much met his match with Catherine. On their wedding night, she strangled him over a disagreement. Surprisingly, the pair did actually have a marriage that lasted 10 years, and they had 2 children together. However, David had many affairs. This part of the case absolutely stunned me. Shockingly, when Catherine found out about his infidelity, she actually took their 12-month-old daughter and put her on railway tracks. Thankfully, a train never came and the baby survived. Now, Catherine was placed in a psychiatric hospital for a while and did make threats to kill. Although David did briefly take her back when she was discharged, they did eventually break up. In 1986, she met a new David, David Saunders.
She liked them Davids, huh? Them Davids better get it together.
He quickly moved in with her and her daughters. However, their relationship quickly became toxic too. Massive trigger warning here for animals. During one particular argument with David, as a warning to him, she slit the throat of his puppy. Shockingly, he stayed with her and they had a daughter together. The final straw for David was when she tried to kill him with a pair of scissors. She then met a new man called John and had a child with him, but she quickly cheated on him with a man called John Price.
What's up with her liking guys with the same name? She was cool with the Davids, right? Then she got with a John. She's like, nah, you ain't no David. I'm gonna go get another John.
In her relationship with John Price, she would continue her violent and malicious behaviour. She framed him for stealing things from his company and he got sacked. In 2000, they had a particularly bad argument where she tried to stab him. He took out a restraining order in order to try and protect himself. However, in a horrible foreshadowing for events to come, he actually ended up telling people that if he was found dead, it would be Catherine's fault. On February the 29th, 2000, he came home, shortly followed by Catherine. When John went to bed, Catherine grabbed a butcher's knife and stabbed him 37 times. She dragged his body downstairs and hung him from a meat hook. She then cooked his body parts with potatoes and gravy. But this still wouldn't be the most shocking part of the case. After her meal, she took some pills and passed out. Police arrived at the house when it was reported that John failed to turn up for work. They found an absolutely hideous scene. Now, Catherine claimed to have no memory of what happened. At this point, police discovered containers of the human stew with names on. They realised that Catherine's plan was to feed John to her children. For killing John for the first time in Australian history, a woman was given life in prison without parole. Catherine remains in prison.
That's nasty. Ugh.
Prison to this day and denies all responsibility.
Encounter with a witch in an Indian village. There is a history of witchcraft from where I am, and there are numerous witch stories and incidents from centuries. The one I'm about to tell is a real one that happened with me. So here I go. When I was 7 or 8 years old, I used to play with my buddy in a large field behind my house. It was winter when the terrifying incident occurred. The sun was setting down at 5:30 p.m., casting an eerie glow over the surroundings. My buddy and I had wandered quite far from home, and a thick layer of fog began to blanket the area. Knowing it was time to head back, we started walking, hoping to find the distant lights of our neighborhood. After a few minutes, we stumbled upon a small area filled with bamboo trees, a place we had seen before. In the middle of this eerie grove was a small pond. We grew uneasy as we realized this was in the opposite direction from our home. Confused and frightened, we turned around and ventured forward, our vision obscured by the fog. We walked carefully through the dried-up winter rice fields, barely able to see anything beyond our feet. Suddenly, we encountered an old lady on our path. She was hunched over, clutching a dusty cloth that resembled a bag. Her old sari was torn and worn, and she appeared to be a beggar. We approached her, thinking she might be trying to convey something to us. but as she uttered incomprehensible gibberish, a really bad, rotten smell filled the air. Looking up at her, we saw her eyes glowing with a sinister yellow-red hue, and she began to laugh maniacally. Overwhelmed by fear, we sprinted away, desperate to escape her clutches. After what felt like an eternity, we finally are homes. Trembling, I recounted the horrifying encounter to my family. My grandmother's face turned pale, and she hurriedly sprinkled Ganga water, holy water, on me, muttering prayers under her breath. She explained that we had come face to face with a Daini, a witch. The next day, I fell gravely ill with a high fever that lasted for a week. To make matters worse, my friend contracted a severe case of pox shortly afterward, his condition far more agonizing than mine.
Look, it be some crazy stuff out here. You better watch out for the mist, watch out for the fog, watch out for the witches. Ain't that crazy? We just had all of this fog from this smoke up in Canada, right? It probably was some witches out here, y'all. I don't know. But yeah, these are some of the most creepy and scary TikTok videos that are out there. If you like the content, don't forget to subscribe, turn your notification bell on, and until next time, YouTube, peace.